Hey everybody,
What's up, guys?
welcome to the IronTrap podcast.
Did you just forget the name there for a second? IronTrap.
I was waiting. Moon was yawning. I didn't want to interrupt him.
Rubbed.
So we are live in full effect
Yes,
for
and
this recorded video
heat
and
is in
podcast.
full blast. It is chilly out this morning.
Yeah, so we're happy that we insulated the office when we made it when we built the office because my goal of getting a heat slash air conditioning in the whole upstairs has not happened because I went and bought some
Stupid property.
huge old mill property that glaringly needs a lot more help than this property does.
Yep.
So that's where the focus and money has gone. So eventually we're going to have this all nice and climate controlled. We can move the podcast to different areas.
One day.
One day. Today isn't the day.
Yeah. This year is probably not going to be
Yeah,
the day.
this year, maybe next year even. We'll see. So yeah, that's so we'll just get right into new stuff going on. Biggest thing when's this come out? I don't know.
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
We're in Oklahoma.
Biggest thing is we are in Oklahoma. So a lot of the times when we do videos, we're kind of secretive until the videos come out and we're traveling. This time, a lot of people had interest in our Oklahoma trip and when we were going back out. We finally were able to get our schedule freed up to go back out, and we are going out. So this week, you're watching this or listening hopefully on Sunday when it comes out. This whole week we are out there, and we're going to be selling on site. Blowout sale.
Trying to. I don't want to have to cut anything up.
Yeah, but we're going to be cutting stuff up and getting rid of stuff. We're helping clean up the biggest thing is clean up mainly the yard.
Yeah, the house property.
At the house, they're trying to get the property cleaned up. The son is trying to get that all cleaned up. So we're going to go there, and if we can't sell it, we're going to have to cut it up and either put it in a box truck to take back, or if it's questionable, it's going to go in a scrap container. So if you were anywhere near Enid, Oklahoma,
Yep.
that's roughly where we're going to be. You can reach out. Mike has some Facebook ads up on Marketplace. We've put a post on our social media, and we're now telling you here. So if you have any interest, stuff will be very affordable. We're not giving it away because we'll just scrap it rather than have to deal with haggling with people for $10. But if you're interested, I mean, we will be selling bodies and cars for hundreds of dollars.
As is, where is.
Yeah, you bring a truck and a trailer, and
We will have a machine there to help load.
yes.
But if you're buying a complete vehicle that has wheels, please bring a trailer with a winch.
Yes, we're not.
Everyone that sent me a message on Facebook, I'm like, the only way you're allowed to buy this is if you show up with a trailer with a winch.
You're
We
gonna
have a
have to
machine to
drag-
get it close, but you're on your
You're
own.
on your own. We can't, a $500 body, we can't be spending 3 hours
Yeah.
helping you load it. So you need to drag it on yourself, hand us the money and go. So the goal is to save as much of this as possible. This estate is probably our most challenging one ever because not necessarily the quantity, but because of how remote, like the little town that it's in is, the nearest big town with anything is like an hour away.
Well, we could say, I put it on social media, we're in Fairview, Oklahoma.
Fairview, Oklahoma. Okay. Anyways,
We'll be there. So when this comes out,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
not that big. It's literally the closest town is an hour. The town that we're in has like one traffic light. There's like 2 or 3 restaurants and a gas station. And it's just the middle of
basically,
nowhere.
a bowling alley or a bar,
Yeah.
So, but what we're finding, it's a little different than what we're used to, and especially on the East Coast. Things are spread out more, so like even the people that are looking at these ads, there's people that are like from Colorado that are responding to the ad, and it's like 10 hours away. So like we're used to, a guy coming from 30 minutes, and we put something on Facebook and it's like in minutes. When you're selling stuff cheap like this, we usually we could probably sell it all in a day or 2 days on the East Coast because everything's more condensed. Where here it's a little harder, and there's a lot more of just like old cars laying around in farms and fields. So I feel like
the prices are really low because it's everywhere out there.
Yeah. So, but again, we're, $500 for a body or a cab or what, like stuff like that. Now, obviously, the good stuff we've already taken home and we're selling what's left. But if you're interested, there's going to be, portions of bodies that will almost give away. It's going to be scrap prices, roughly for some of this stuff.
I will say there's 3 complete pickup trucks. If you watch the Oklahoma video and see anything, I'll just say off the top, there's a 39 Chevy sedan that's sold. There's 3 complete pickup trucks and complete. I say that pickups on frames in the field that are sold. There's a guy that's potentially interested in all the 2-door sedan bodies, the 35.6 2-door sedan bodies. Fingers crossed. So if you're interested, get to us right away. Do not dilly dally.
Either give us a phone call, or a text message on our business number, which is on our website, irontrapgarage@gmail.com.
I will not put
Or
that
that's
on
our
YouTube.
email, but
Yeah. IronTrapGarage.com has our contact information on it.
so you can contact us and email or call or text. And if you're interested in something, or you want to come out and take a look around while we're there, the only thing we will say is we are going to be working very hard. So if you want to come out and just look around and shoot the breeze, we may be less than friendly as far as like spending hours BSing, because we have a short period of time to get.
Here's the
done.
pile. Go look at it. Tell me what you want. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah, make a pile. It's much like when we go buying at places with some of these old guys. They're like, leave me alone. Go make a pile, and we'll talk about what I owe at the end. It's going to be cheap, and that's what we're going to be doing. So that's our rant on that. And then we are planning to make a couple of stops on our way home to get some content and maybe buy some stuff. So it should be a fun little trip. It's just going to be...
This is one of our longer ones in a while. We're going to be gone for
a week,
7 days, basically.
And unfortunately, not unfortunately, but because of all the stuff in Oklahoma, we have to kind of spend, a good portion of a week there to try and coordinate with people, but also the work involved. And it's 2 separate properties, so we're gonna do the most we can. So that's what's going on. We fly out tomorrow morning.
Yes.
At very, very early, dark o'clock. And
it's gonna be a late night for me. It's also Halloween, so I got to go trick or treating with the kids tonight, and then get up very early for a flight. Not looking forward to it.
Kids aren't trick or treating at 1 a.m.
Yeah, but they'll be up. They'll eat candy and they'll be up late. And
you're up late anyways.
I got to pack and all that stuff yet. The other thing I will say is there's a calendar pre-order on our website. Oh, yeah. I just finished that up last night, so it is live right now. Go pre-order a calendar. Where last year we ordered them ahead of time, and we only did 100 of them, and they sold out really quick. So this year we're doing it a little bit earlier, pre-order. After Black Friday, I will order them and rush order, so they should be here and ship before Christmas.
Yes.
Cannot guarantee you will get it by Christmas. To make that disclosure, I do not control the post office. They will ship before Christmas.
Yes, but we'll do our best to try and make it to you for Christmas if you do order them. But we're going to try and get that all together and ordered, and we'll sort it out. Who knows? Maybe it's worth ordering a batch of them.
We'll see how the pre-order does, and we'll order maybe a pile ahead of time.
Yeah. So, but if you're interested, if you get a calendar, we've had a handful of people hit us up that they get a calendar every year, which is we appreciate that. It is a fun little thing we do. That's actually going to roll into some of our topic today. But we don't make hardly any money on a calendar, especially for the work involved. We don't make any money if you count labor. It's more of a fun thing we do. It's marketing. It's neat for us to have some hanging. I have one hanging in my office here. So it's kind of neat to do that. But we're not making 3,000 calendars, to make sure every person ever gets one.
Save your calendar from this year if you bought one. November of this year is a picture of the Merc. This coming stock Merc. This year we're going to do basically the same photo of the Merc chopped for November. So save your calendars so you can put them side by side when you get the new one and compare the photo. Yes,
should be cool. So that's it's pretty fun putting these together now that we've been doing it a while. Throughout the year, we're like, oh, that'll be a good calendar photo. Like a car sitting somewhere, or you took a photo and you're like, oh man, that'd be a cool. So that was one where
it's basically the best of our year for the most part.
Yeah, it's the best moments, or cars, or whatever. So it's a lot of fun doing that. And same with the merch and any products on the webpage, parts as well. We do a Black Friday sale, so you can get a deal on some stuff.
Friday to Sunday at midnight.
Yes. So make sure if you're thinking about Black Friday, I know it feels early, but we got to start talking about all this, way ahead of time. So otherwise, that's pretty much all the new updates that I can think of for the most part. And we have a Willie's
Oh, yeah.
Jeepster for sale.
Go watch today's video.
Today's video is we drag out a barn find 1950 Willis or Willys, depending how you say it. Just don't want to make any Willis fans angry. What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
Anyways, that Jeepster, we're helping a family that is selling some properties and the collection of Jeep products. And this is the first one we've pulled out for them. And we're helping them sell it like a consignment type deal. Honestly, they've been not bugging us. They've just been checking in with us because we've been so busy. I looked at this stuff a year ago, and they kind of were like, "Yeah, if you want to help us sell it, let us know." And a year passed, and then they were like, then Hershey came, and then so we quick got the one drug out because they're selling that property soon, and we're going to start selling some of those vehicles. So if you're into the Jeep products, there's some 70s, 80s, 60s Jeeps.
69 CJ5. There's a 75 CJ5 that's really low miles, like 26,000 miles.
That's the cream puff of the whole batch.
And then there's also a
CJ7, right?
Yeah, I forget what year. 79 CJ7.
The project, like a roller. So, but again, we're not experts. We're literally just they're fairly local to us, and they don't have the physical ability to move these vehicles. This is one of the things we do with like services we offer with not only buying out, but as our business has been evolving. This family watches our channel. They really like what we do. They also trust us. So they could have sold. I actually had this conversation with them multiple times. Like, you guys could just put this on Facebook, sell it yourself. Well, they also don't feel comfortable having strangers come to the home because of they don't have the physical ability to show the cars easily, but also they don't feel comfortable having random people off the internet, which I understand. So we're helping them do that for a consignment type deal. So we're going to bring the vehicles back, clean them up, advertise them, market them, sell them for them, and then they just basically get the vehicles pulled out and sold, and then we take a small cut for us doing all of that work. So anybody that's interested in that type of stuff, you can pass that info along because we do that also.
Yes.
Probably up until we started getting Luke and getting more help, we've been very quiet about it. We actually don't advertise that. We do it quite often for local, like older friends. They'll bring us a batch of parts. We'll sell them on consignment, give them some money, take a cut, blah, blah, blah. But we don't really advertise it. But now as we're getting better at shipping and, we have extra help, we can talk about it a little more. So
I posted the wheelies on Facebook, and I got to try and get it up on the website so it's viewable for sale this weekend.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is.
It's very, very complete.
We've been trying to talk Luke, our new employee, into it.
Luke's gullible. I've been trying to sell. I'm going to try to sell him everything that we don't want to deal with. And the master plan is he's going to rent some space at the mill.
Yes, exactly.
So in the end, he's going to work for free year round. It's going to be great. Probably not, but we're going to try.
I did try and sell him the Stroll car the one day when Pete was here. He was looking at the Stroll car, and I was like, sit in it, see if you can drive it. And he got in, and he's like, I'm too tall for this. I'm like, damn it. I tried really, really hard.
He was saying, he's like, if I could work for free for like a year, we could trade. I'm like, I don't know if I like that.
Then there's no I can't go buy anything now.
Yeah, and he could screw off for a whole year and loaf, and then after that he'll get a free car. No. Anyways, so today's topic we're talking about. This is one that a lot of these topics we get questions a lot, and then we that's how it cues up the topic. So since we've gotten any sort of success with IronTrap we have a lot of people always asking us, how do I insert person here? How do I build a brand? How do I build a business in something that I love? Obviously if you followed our channel and our business for, since the beginning, Mike and I both had day jobs. This was just a side thing we were doing for fun, so to speak. And then as it grew, we, built it into what it is, and it continued to grow. So we're always getting questions from people, whether it's, my, a relative, a cousin or something that their daughter wants to start a YouTube channel. We're getting questions to old coworkers of mine, from Eastwood that have friends that want to start a business or a YouTube and whatever. So we figured we'd do a discussion on how to build I don't want to keep it automotive based, but how to build a brand or business, grassroots, ground up, $0 type deal, into something that you can, make some money or enjoy. And we're going to talk about some of the talking points.
Yeah.
This is all literally stuff that I've had dozens of conversations with people at, on the phone, in person, whatever, through email, DMs about stuff. And we figured we'd just cover some of that in this because it's a good talking point. I feel like a lot of people, especially in today's day and age with social media, like a lot of people are like, they want to do their own thing. They want to not work for the man, or they want to, if you whatever, and they feel like they're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what happened with us, so to speak, and we were able to, make it into something that's our own. And now
you're listening to it.
yeah, now you're listening to this junk. So I did make some notes on my phone. So if you see me glancing at my phone, it's just to keep us and me on task. And let's see. All right. So, we probably get the most basic one we get is people that are saying like, how do I start a YouTube channel, or how do I grow a YouTube channel, something like that. And people just give this broad thing. And probably the first thing we need to address is like, it's really hard to get a YouTube channel to gain any traction or any monetary traction. It is very, very, very difficult.
And to be brutally honest, we don't make that much money off of YouTube.
No,
YouTube has always been kind of, since we both quit our jobs full time, the YouTube is the background to the parts business. The parts business is what makes us the money. YouTube is more of an advertising outlet per se of our business.
It's marketing and branding. And that's some of the stuff we're going to get into. A lot of what we're going to talk about here is more business, marketing, branding, all that kind of building a brand. That's what this is going to be. So if you're looking for car specific talk today, it's not going to be as much of that, but
this all applies.
It all applies. I feel like a lot of people can, in today's day and age, I feel like everybody wants, the cool thing with social media is you could start a little sub brand just for fun and take some of the stuff we're talking about and put it into practice. But we get all the time, how do I grow my YouTube or my social media from zero? And my first thing I tell people is, well, what do you want to, I think the biggest problem is a lot of people hit us up and they're just like, they're already thinking about how can they quit their job and make money on YouTube. And I think that's the wrong process. I don't think really, if you really start paying attention on YouTube, 99.9% of the YouTubers out there have a business that they are promoting and they're documenting kind of whatever it is. Now there is some larger ones that they just buy cars and fix them up and smash them or race them and then they sell them and do it again. Some of those channels, I think those are like the unicorns. I feel like it's very hard in today's day and age to strictly just do content and make enough money. There's some people that are doing that, but if you look at all those people and take your ego away that you're not special, we're not special. But if you look at a lot of those people, for instance, someone local to us that I know personally is Tony Angelo. He didn't just start his YouTube channel and he's just doing it full time and messing around with his friends. He had a career. He was racing. He worked at Hot Rod Magazine, doing Hot Rod Garage, many years doing on-air talent, building his, profile up as a, influencer or a personality. And then when he left, it just took off.
Yeah.
It wasn't like people were like, oh man, I want to do that. Well, it's like for 10, 15, 20 years, he was grinding, doing all that stuff till he got a job doing, so that's most YouTube people, if you follow, there's probably this background of them doing that. Maybe the person was a ace mechanic at a dealership for 15 years, and then they started doing videos on that mechanics, and it's like, well, they did all that work to build it up. So Freiberger, all those, the real, these in our world, those are the people that are on the top. All of them, they also have side deals. You look at Freiberger, he's doing announcing at like drag racing and different stuff, like, so he's not just it's not just YouTube is making the money. I think a lot of people just think they can just make a YouTube video whenever they feel like it. They're going to make tens of millions of views and they're going to get this big paycheck. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't.
Creating viral content is actually it's not easy to do.
It's really hard. It's hard to even gauge. Even for us, sometimes we do some of our like picking videos, and we're like, "Oh, this is awesome. It's going to do so good," and then all of a sudden, like we're like, "Well, that was just as good as that one that has millions of views and followed the same formula, same keywords, all that techie stuff, and nerdy stuff, and." It doesn't, it does a 16th of that. Yeah. It does good. Like, we usually know which ones are going to do better, but, the viral stuff is really, really hard. It's. I know there's a formula. You get the Mr. Beast and some of those people that they've got it figured out. But, again, that is the,
that's a different form of content than what we're trying to shoot.
Yes. So, I think the biggest thing is how do you grow your YouTube or your social media? And I tell anybody that asks me is work on your personal brand or yourself as a person or whatever it is, whether it's a brand or you as a person. Just work on that organically before you're even going to start a YouTube channel. You should start growing. And it was the same background with me. I was doing the German car thing on the forums years before I even thought about YouTube, and I had already built a little bit of a social media following, and I worked at Eastwood, and obviously doing that I grew a little bit of a social media following. I was active on social media, and that was when I just wasn't doing anything with it. You want to go out in the cold?
How long is this going to last?
You want to go outside? How about that? Go away. Go away. Go in the wind.
Go bug Steve.
Go bug Steve.
So in about 30 minutes, you're going to hear it barking at the doors because Moon's cold and wants to come back inside.
So, so what I'm saying is build a, like, brand or just build yourself up. And it's just like posting, whatever it is that you want to do a YouTube channel or you want to do your business on.
Yeah.
Start just building that up by just posting. I mean, if you want to be if you want to start your own fabrication shop, you should probably, while you work for this hot rod shop, be posting photos of the work you're doing at that shop, if they let you, of course, just to show the quality of your work. People are going to find you, and you're going to slowly build that up, and then you're going to start getting it. It happens so easily if you aren't pushing real hard. If you just post quality work, like if we're talking fabrication, people are going to find you, and then they're just going to hit you up and be like, "Oh, I saw you do metalwork. Do you do stuff on the side? Do you take on projects?" And you're going to just organically start getting some side work. So it's really the key is showing that you are legit. That you have some skill or you have some ability. Now, if you're really good looking, just post photos of your handsome face or your nice ass, whatever it is.
2 things we cannot do.
I cannot do that, obviously. So we had to do other things.
Yes.
But if you have a great ass, just post photos of your great ass, and people will find you. It's actually quite easier if you have a good ass. You don't even need to listen to our podcast.
Yep.
Just start posting photos of your ass.
It's real simple.
It's really simple.
But if you're an ugly dude like us, listen up.
Yeah, I got all these leggings. I took all these great shots. My ass just did not look as good in leggings as I thought it would.
Yep.
It just didn't work
showing
out.
my ass crack for years on YouTube didn't help us at all.
We've tried it, and that's some of our topic we're going to cover here. Is if it isn't working, gotta let your ego go.
Yes.
Mike thought his ass crack was the best thing in the planet.
Didn't work.
Just negative comments. We read the comments. People
and we listened.
They don't.
And now we're longer shirts.
It's great. So that's the biggest thing. If you just want to, with no direction, start a YouTube channel, that's like the failure rate is 99.9999%.
And definitely picking something you want to do, like automotive, stick to automotive. Don't pivot and then decide you want to do woodworking. And then you have to, if you're going to build a social media, not saying it has to be always automotive, but if you're going to be an automotive influencer, that's kind of what you have to stick to.
Yeah, and we, even like if you're growing, I think even taking a step back from that, what do you want to do with creating a YouTube channel? Or like, I think people just jump in and it's like, well, what do you want to do with what this is? Do you just want to create videos for fun to document your life,
Then it doesn't
great.
really matter.
Doesn't matter. You're not going to make any money more than likely, and you just do it. But a lot of these people that are coming to us, that are asking us that, they have intentions, and it's like, what is that? And I try and get that out of people when they, I try and when I have these conversations, it's like you try and like, even though they don't know, you're trying to be, get these answers out of them. So it's like, do you want to start your own business and go out on your own? Well, then it's a way different tactics.
And it's almost, you do the same thing when you're building a hot rod to make it even simpler. You figure out your intentions with the car, is how the direction you take the build. Yeah. You're doing the same thing with social media. What are your intentions? And that's the direction you go.
Right. Yeah. So if you want to do a business or whatever, definitely, I would, if it's best to pick something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
I would not want to dedicate your life to something that you don't like. It's probably not a good, if you're already working a job you hate, don't start a business in something you hate. That's probably not great. But that's the thing we always ask people is like, what do you want to do, or what do you want to sell, or what service do you want to offer? And that's how you need to start thinking about it. So if you just want to be an influencer, that's it, that's your thing, then you just need to grind at putting content out and being more interesting than the next person, which I think is the problem nowadays. It's so hard. Everybody wants to be just like an influencer and get brand deals. It's so hard to stand out unless you are extraordinarily
good looking
or talented or
you
whatever.
You can practice your TikTok dances.
Yeah. And even then, it's like rolling the dice of what's going to happen, from there. So a couple of the things that I think are very important that helped us early on was, finding someone back when you're doing this and you're making no money, have no sort of expectations, find someone that you can kind of partner with, who also has no expectations, to do content, help build things, do whatever, with an understanding that it could maybe someday grow. And I think what happens is people go too far into the grow thing, and you get two people that are just looking for dollar signs.
Yeah.
And so when we started doing this, it was more of a side thing. It was a creative outlet. And Mike and I started doing this together. And early on, it was like, we're going to make no money.
There was many conversations with my wife. I'm sitting at the kitchen table editing a video at 12 o'clock at night. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, just wait. I promise, one day.
But even then, it's hard with your significant other or friends or whatever.
Or even just yourself.
Yeah,
you're sitting there like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
3 hours on a video I'm doing for free. But there are upsides to that. It could work.
Yeah, you have to have someone that has the same goals in mind or understands what the goals are. So with Mike and I, it was building a brand, but we weren't already thinking about, we weren't cashing the YouTube checks early on. It was more creating a brand and documenting some stuff for fun. I don't know if we ever had a conversation of like, here's the plan. It was kind of like in the very beginning, it was just a creative outlet.
Yeah.
And I think I probably very quickly flipped the switch into making it into a brand or a business. I had already started, and this is going back to some of the comments I said earlier, I had already picked the IronTrap name.
20 years before.
No, it wasn't that long. I was it was, let's say, 3 to 5 years before that.
Well, how long were you IronTrap on VW Vortex?
Not very long.
Oh, really?
No, I changed that because I wasn't even doing. I started the IronTrap thing. I was almost out of the German car thing.
Oh, really?
I just changed like my username. It was, in the beginning, it was just a username thing. I was like, let me create a cooler username that kind of like fits everything. And I just dreaming it up on my lunch break one day. I was just like Googling terms and words and
medieval torture devices.
Yeah, and I just came up somehow with that term and it clicked in my head. So it was like, I created this username, which was kind of the brand. But even then I was like, well, I want to make a name that's kind of universal. And like, what is it that I do? Because I didn't even know. I'm like, I was getting heavier into American cars and whatnot. I'm like, well, what's something, even if down the road I get into old motorcycles. It's like, well, iron, metal, that's something. So like also we see that quite often where people start a YouTube channel or a business and the name changes 7 times. It's really hard for people to follow you if your name keeps changing or different things like that. So it's like if you're gonna do baking, obviously the name surrounding baking is good, but if you think you might someday want to do something that's peripheral to that, maybe don't make it Joanne's Cupcakes. If you think you're gonna make cookies, like
make it just bakes.
Yeah, something like that. Like there was a business in town here, and it was like, I'm not talking negatively about them, but it was like Semper Pi was the name of the. I think they actually went out of business. They're not in the store in my little town. It was Semper Pi. It was like a ex-military person, a veteran, I believe, and they didn't like it wasn't pies. They were doing like other things. Like they did pies, but it was like other baked goods, and you're like so. It was confusing. I like we went in there and I'm
we
like,
only make apple pies, but we offer all these other baked
other
goods.
things, and you're like, I don't.
We only make one.
I mean, I get
pie.
the play on words, but like it just so it was just like interesting, So you see that quite often. So for us, it was like I was trying to think of a name that is broad enough that it could cover any, anything we do could work around that. And I think with the IronTrap name, I mean, it's broad enough you can do almost anything with it. But specifically, as far as antiques and vintage and cars and mechanical things, it blankets all of that. And then once you get a brand, it's much easier. We could do IronTrap Bake Shop because IronTrap is already a brand now that started and people identify with it. But like in the beginning, if it was IronTrap Bake Shop, like, well, what's the iron? What's the?
I don't want to eat there. That sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible. So, but finding a friend, a partner with vision, I see a lot of people that do it well, that they have a significant other, wife, partner, whatever, that is co-signed. And that's like, I don't want to say I'm jealous of that, but it's pretty cool. Like our friend Justin has his own repair business. He started and bought a property, and his wife is 110% co-signed.
Yeah.
She's working a day job and also helping to juggle the business with him. And it's like, that's awesome. If you have a partner that is invested as you, but like Mike and I both early on realized that our partners were not as interested.
Yeah.
And forcing that is not going to be a good,
ends up with a lot of fights.
Yeah. So like, that's how it's always been. Like if they're supportive.
Yeah.
If they want to help occasionally, or if we ask for help, they will. But like, we're not like, I need you to edit this video. I need you to fold these T-shirts.
Yeah.
It's like they're like, I'm not really like this is
My
your
wife
thing.
has folded some T-shirts before.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting. Like if you do ask her, she will help. But you don't like this is your job now. And she's like,
every Friday for the next 3 years, I need you to fold T-shirts every Friday.
You're packing orders.
Yes.
That's it. And they're like, well, I didn't sign up for this.
This is bullshit.
But if you can have a partner that can, if you have a friend, coworker, I think Moon's ready to come in again. A dog that is interested, like this dog, freeloader.
Was it chilly out there?
But it is helpful. It takes some of the load off. That seems to be one of the things I've noticed is people start YouTube channels or start building a brand, and it's literally just them, and they get so burnt out and exhausted because you're like, I realized that from day one. It was probably a big part of it was because I worked at Eastwood and Saul went into creating content. We had video guys that all they did was film and edit. And I'm like, I can't do the work, film the video, edit the video, put the content out. And I think it ends up hurting some of that. So having someone that's
always a part of, if you're doing all of it, one of those things is going to suffer.
Yes.
Either the content suffers or the editing isn't as good. And, with someone helping, you can keep it a level playing field for everything.
And you need to have some sort of a, there should have, obviously you need to have some sort of discussion early on with that friend, partner, whoever. Now, obviously if it's your husband or your wife, what happens, when you start making money or growing, what do? Well, it's like you're already married to kind of the money's together anyways. But like if it's Mike and I with being friends, it was like early on we're like, well, how do we when we made that first $16 check, we were like, well, how do we divide this?
Yes.
So we had a conversation about that was super simple, and it's like, and just kind of kept it that way. And if there was ever a need to change it, we could, but like and I think it's not being selfish is a big part of it. We see that too often where people are like tit for tat. They're like, oh, I'm doing all of this and you're not doing that or whatever. And it's like both of us, I
I was
would
literally
say,
gonna say that. Don't be a selfish dickhead.
yeah, I feel like we're
Be
both
adults. Communicate. Have conversations.
Well, I think it helps for us at least, and a lot of what we're talking about here is we're not necessarily money driven, so
Yeah.
to speak. So like we also weren't like we both had jobs. We didn't need that YouTube money to make our mortgage payment.
Yeah.
We were like that money was fine. It was great to have it, but it was like we don't need it. So I think sometimes people are like they're hoping to hit it big, and this money is so important that the money is what causes the problem. Like any business, that happens. So, um, but so finding a friend, partner, all that stuff, that's helpful. Somebody that has your vision, is good, and you need to. I mean, early on, you're going to need to decide who's better at what and who's handling what.
Yeah.
So that's why how the business is set up now with what we do. It's like it's just somebody has to do the not fun stuff and take the risk. So you're going to have to decide that, or your partner's on it, whatever, and you need to talk to a lawyer or an accountant or something to decide
Yes.
on that part of it. But when it's early on, you're just starting out. I think sometimes people overcomplicate. We see people that like they started a YouTube channel and they have like an LLC and they're doing all this stuff and they're making negative $6 a year.
Yeah.
It's like you can just start it for fun. And if you are making a little money, you can have a sole prop and just do. If you're literally just making YouTube videos and you're making a little money, there's no need to go overboard. I think a lot of people go overboard. It's like as you build it, but like just focus on what you want to do.
Yes.
First.
I do want to say something with the if you're creating a YouTube channel with a friend or a partner, make sure both of you have legal access to the YouTube channel. That it's not just someone created it themselves and they have all the passwords. I have seen people lose like a YouTube channel because someone changes all the passwords and they get the money and they have the passwords and the other person loses all their content. So cover yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, you don't just pick some friend you knew for 5 minutes
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, you need to have, and that's where it gets into having, picking the right person. You need to have somebody that helps. And in the beginning, it could just be a partner that's helping you grow it, and they're just doing it for the good of what you're trying to do. And then you hire an editor, if things start going that well. But at least if it's just something you do. But
I just wanted to add that caveat.
yeah, no, that's good. But having a goal and a direction is the biggest thing out of all that last little bit of talking. What do you want to do with this? And you can think, it's not bad to think ahead. So for us, once we started making some content, it was like the goal for me was to not work for somebody else. I had a business before Eastwood that I worked for myself, and it was great, but I wasn't mature enough or educated enough in business and marketing to grow it like I wanted to.
Yeah.
And now armed with that information I learned at Eastwood, that was the goal for us. So it was like, what do we want to do? And as we started to evolve things, it kind of made that decision. But what's your goal? What's your direction? And again, you can just stop there and be like, I just want to do fun content and just, something to document building my car. No problem at all. That's it. Maybe you make some T-shirts for fun, and that's great. Nothing wrong with that. You're allowed to have fun on the internet. Not everyone has to build a business and be an entrepreneur. It's very, very hard. So,
and honestly, just having fun is probably a lot more fun sometimes.
It is a lot more fun. It's gotten the more successful you've been, the less fun. Especially like this past summer, it's been less fun for me. I mean, it's satisfying, but it's less fun. And one thing growing that we see, and this is stuff that we see, we're not taking aim at anyone. You just see it in all sorts of social media, but be authentic, and do you. There's a lot of other people like you. One term I like, the statement is, don't fake the funk.
Yes.
So don't try to pretend to be somebody you're not, or, we see a lot of people that they overly turn on the personality thing. It's kind of crazy how many people I see that like it's become a trend on social media. People are like, it's like they're a cheesy game show announcer when they're hey guys, being this over. And then you meet them in person, and it's like they're totally not that person. It's like I mean, since day one, unapologetically, we're who we are. Yes, sometimes we swear. Sometimes we get people that will complain about the way, and we're going to get into that a little bit. I was a little too abrasive in the beginning of the channel with some of that, so there is a fine line, but like if just lean into whatever, it is that's you, because there's a lot of people like you that are going to find your content.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to turn it down a little bit. Sometimes you have to turn it up a little bit, but don't like turn it up to 11.
Because it's totally fake and, whatever. Or sometimes I just feel like people are trying to, they look at another, and we've come across that with what we've done. We're very lucky and fortunate that the perfect storm. We started our channel. YouTube was already crazy and hard to get anywhere on YouTube. We started a channel when there was a little hole and there wasn't really hardly anyone giving the focus and the effort into YouTube like we were in the nostalgic hot rodding custom world, early Ford world, and we just were one of the first ones, and we just hit it, and that's why that was one of the pieces of the puzzle. So if you're trying to, we've seen people that try and like just copy different channels stuff, and we've tried it before. Like we'll watch a automotive channel or brand, and we're like, oh, their caption, or not captions, their thumbnail was like this. They get all these views. Let's try and copy that. And we do, and we're like, it doesn't work. Our demographic doesn't, they have a different demographic. For whatever reason that works for them, it doesn't work for us. So like copying exactly the type of content that we're doing or somebody else is doing isn't the form. There isn't the formula is everything we have going on and being authentically us is what the formula is. If you go and try and copy exactly everything we're doing, I'm sure there's pieces of what we do that's that's good, but like you need to figure out what makes you special or different or whatever, and then lean into that. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I think we see is people are trying to just mimic exactly what everything else is doing. We get inspired by different things that other people have done, and sometimes it's huge, watching. One of the things is like I realized in the beginning, it was like a lot of our viewers are people that were transitioning from traditional TV to YouTube, and our demographic is older. So it was like a lot of our viewers were already programmed that they want to watch a TV show a certain day of the week. American Pickers is on this day of the week, Power Block, all this stuff. So like we needed to create a schedule and put out content on that schedule. No, ifs, ands, or buts. So in the early days, it was kind of hard. We were like every Friday. Yeah. And then very quickly every Tuesday, and then every Sunday. And it's like, but we were training people, and you need to kind of do the same thing. There's so much content out there. If somebody likes your content, they need to be trained. Yes. So if you're going to do every third Friday, you say that in every video, and then people will be like, oh man, it's the third. It's the fourth Friday. They must have put a video out last week, and they check it.
That ties into something else, is consistency. Yes. If you pick that schedule, you stick to it, because if you miss it, YouTube actually, part of their algorithm, punishes you for not, they notice you do a video every week, and you missed 3 weeks in a row. That's going to mess up your algorithm, and it's going to put you lower on their list to push through. It's a weird cycle. You get boned pretty hard. If you do it multiple times, you'll be like, your videos will disappear from the recommended page. It's pretty hard.
And I've seen some automotive channels that had traction, and they, for whatever reason, they got, lax on that. I don't want to say lazy. They just got lax. Life got in the way. Your day job got busy, and you couldn't do it, put any content out. And then all of a sudden, it just starts dropping off. And then you're so sporadic with when they would put videos out that, I even myself, a little bit of I don't watch hardly any YouTube, but a little bit of content, I've tried to follow some channels, and they're so sporadic. Now, there's some channels that do fantastic with it. But I feel like when you're growing a brand or a channel, especially on social media, you need to. There's so much noise. You got to have some sort of consistency that people know to look for
Yes.
your content. We're not as good at that on like you on Instagram and some of that stuff. There's definitely we could be better.
Yeah, there's
But
like weeks where we don't post any Instagram posts at all.
yeah, it's just we're busy or we don't do it. But but we are always posting content and keeping relevant to people. So that's um, but being authentic to you and what you want to be, don't fake the funk.
Yes.
So whatever it is that you're good at, that's the thing that you should focus on, or whatever makes you different. So for us, it was like the difference for us was just the culmination of a few things. The building was interesting. We identified that. I had a little bit of skill and momentum from working at Eastwood and doing some metal fab and welding and all that stuff. So a little bit of that. And then also doing the buying and selling and picking stuff. I was already doing that.
Yep.
And it was kind of interesting. So, all that stuff combined, we were already doing. We just kind of like focused our content on that. And that gets into don't be scared to experiment with your brand or your channel as you're growing it to some shape or form. We've tried that over here. Don't let your ego get in the way of what you think people want to watch or what they want to do, buy from you, whatever. So we see that too often where people with especially small businesses and these like micro businesses and
we even kind of did it from the start too. Our first year of video making, it was this is going to be how to informational car building videos only. And then what Matt says about experimenting, you're not making a left field play. You're making a slight right turn. It's an adjacent content to what you're already making. You're not like going from talking about hot rodding to baking.
Yep.
You're not making that kind of experiment. You're just like, we went from building hot rods to picking. It's all in the same relation of content.
And that's where the ego thing comes into place. I was very much on, I want to do hardcore fabrication and building of hot rods.
And the videos had to be start to finish in one project.
Yes.
There was many nights we were both here till 2 a.m. I'm sitting on a stool, like half falling asleep, helping film and stuff. It's like, we have to get this project part done for the video. We can't break it up into two pieces. All has to be in one video.
And that was for me working at Eastwood.
Yeah.
They very much wanted to put out content that was like that because
start to finish.
That's the type of content we're doing. We weren't able to do that. So in the beginning, that's what we were doing. And then we started realizing that like, I like watching American Pickers. I like watching some of the, social media guys I follow that are finding neat stuff. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Let's start trying some of that. And then very quickly we realized that like more people as a broad viewership enjoyed that part of it. And it's like, maybe not everybody wants to watch you just like fix structural rust every video. So, and so it was hard for me because I had this like vision of what we were going to do with it. And it had to change. And that's some of the thing that you have to let put your ego aside. So if you're making if your goal, back to the goal, is to open a motorcycle shop, you want to build choppers. If you're getting some momentum building a channel and a brand doing chopper content, and then you just randomly for a year start building a C10 pickup. Like I know that's your shop truck, but like that you're going to lose so many people because most of the people they're signed on to watch you do that. If they wanted to watch a C10 guy, they'd watch a C10 guy. So for us, we were testing stuff over the years. It's like we've talked about before, like my old Ferguson tractor. I tried doing some videos on the tractor. They did terrible. And it was like, I didn't lean into it for a year, do Ferguson tractor content. It was like, okay, that's not doing well. 2-3 video test is over. Let's get back to whatever.
And that's how the Week in the Life videos started.
Yes.
We tested them a couple times and they were insanely popular. And that's where we kind of put all of the
excess
mill content, stuff that's not necessarily unique to the brand, the channel for automotive, and some of the just other stuff that didn't make a video. It's just all crammed into one now.
Right. And the Week in the Life of thing, I think if you have a smaller channel, brand, whatever, and you see that from us or other channels do that too. It's not like we created that
No,
idea.
we took inspiration from
Other,
like vloggers. Guys were
Yes.
doing daily vlogs. I mean, people have been doing daily vlogs since like
Forever, yeah.
2009. Like it's been decades.
yeah, and I mean, there's TV shows over the years that did like a
Yeah.
day in the life of whatever and different things. So it's like, but you need to build. People have to be signed on to you as a brand to really start watching those. Again, unless you're super good looking or your week is actually that interesting. But if you just film your week and there's not really anything that, like, you go to the coffee shop and drink coffee and talk about your political beliefs, unless you're really good looking or you're good at something, it's probably not going to get traction. So with us, we didn't do week in the life of like way back in the beginning. It was like we had built up the brand. There was so much extra content that we were missing. And we're like, well, we could either start another channel or we just throw all that garbage into one video. And a lot of people have short attention spans. If we were doing videos on just doing the mill, I think we would find that we would lose a lot of our hardcore automotive viewers. So it's like if we do these little snippets, and if you watch the week in the life of and you're not really that interested in the mill, well, it's only a minute here or 2 minutes there, and then it shows us doing car stuff. And it's like it can jump around a little bit. And that's where you can do that if you feel the need. But we weren't forcing that. It was just more we were trying to do something with all this extra neat stuff.
And we didn't do every week right away. It was like we tried it one week, and then we'd have a discussion at the start of the week. We're like, what do we have this week that's gonna be real crazy?
Yes,
Should we do a week in the life this week? And then it got to the point where like the one winter we didn't do it at all, and then the next spring we're like, let's just do it we're doing crazy shit literally every day.
Even in the winter, it was like, well, we're not doing as much stuff in the winter, but it's like you didn't think about that we went through this palette of parts and found some interesting stuff, or whatever little things that we were doing that's, again, out of the ordinary. And then we were taking it for granted. We were kind of like the opposite of what I see with some, where we're like, the stuff that I think is normal in everyday life is not normal for most of the world. So it's like, I'm thinking the other way. I'm like, this isn't that interesting. It just heated and bent and built this like thing, to make this tool, to do this other thing. I'm like, it's just, I just quick did it. It's like, well, actually, that's kind of interesting. Where other people are trying to, again, you went to the coffee shop and you drank coffee and just looked at the birds. Like that's cool, but that maybe isn't a whole video to drag people in. But, the week in the life of, again, back to having that initial goal and vision, we were doing the week in the life of to kind of promote other things that were going on. So in the week in the life of, we realized that like we could show us just going to a pick. The Jeep stuff's a good example. We showed that a year ago to just preview that, like, hey, we might get some Jeep stuff and we might get some interest off of just showing that little bit. So it's helping to show some of your business day to day that might get you some extra business or some interest.
Yeah, and it helps you gauge, like, put a snippet in there of doing something that's it's a test. And if everyone comments that they love that little test,
we do that a lot. Yeah,
you dive into it a little bit more, and you add a little bit more to the week in the life of or whatever video you do, and then if it's a hit, you just do a whole video dedicated to that and go from there. And
that's what we've talked about it a little bit before, but like that's what happened with the Forgotten Hot Rod. From day one, I didn't really like that vehicle that much. So we bought it, and I was like, it's kind of cool, but like, to be honest, I was gonna just clean it up and flip it, and just take some of the filth off, and like we do with a lot of them, clean it up, get it rolling, make it a little more palatable, sell it as a project car. And it was like, we did these little bit of videos, and all of a sudden it was like, it was getting, still don't really understand why, but it was getting all this traction. And it's like, I remember after we did the video with my friend Brett came by and helped me pull the engine. And
that was like that might have been one of our first videos to get like 100,000 views. It went like really high, really fast.
Yeah, and it was like, well, man, that video did really well. And I started noticing that like every time we did a video on that car, a lot of people loved it. And I think it was just a culmination of a cheap, affordable vehicle that almost anybody could buy. Those cars weren't real expensive to buy. And it came from some crazy place that people were like, I can't believe this guy's fixing this thing, So it was that stuff. But I realized I had to build this car now. because that was part of what we were trying to do, was grow the brand, and that's what people wanted to see. And it was like I wanted to work on different cars, but I leaned into it. Wasn't like I hated it.
Yeah.
It was just wasn't the one I would have picked, but ended up working out. And in the end, I wanted that 39 Mercury, but I ended up building the 39 Ford and never built that Mercury because the Ford kind of
Did so well.
And then
Well, to be honest, the Merc did really well too. The videos did really well.
I'm pulling it out.
Yeah.
But the Merc was so much harder to build. I needed to gather parts more that I jumped right into the Ford, and it did so well. It was like that took the focus, and then at that point the brand started growing and whatnot, that I got a better car, by the time I was ready for it. But one part of this is growing the brand, growing a business, whatever your thing is you're trying to grow. You have to enjoy the process. Like you have to enjoy the grind a little bit. As I've matured over the last handful of years as a business owner and different things, like I realize I enjoy the process as much as what the thing is. So like we joke about it all the time now. It's like if I had millions of dollars and I could finish the mill next week, all I would do is just buy another shitty property. It's just like the cars.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy the process of getting something that maybe somebody doesn't value like I do, or doesn't see
I think
the
it's
vision.
more that people would turn their nose at.
Yes.
They're like, that thing is a piece of shit. I'm going to fix it.
I'm going to fix it and make it awesome. Yeah. And then people will be like, I can't believe what a great deal. So it's like, I've realized I like the process. So it doesn't matter. That's always been the problem with the cars. It's like, as soon as I turn a car around, I'm like, on to the next one.
Yeah.
And, I get another one. It's like, I like turning things around and seeing that transformation. So for me, I've enjoyed the process. It's tried to like slow down some and stand back some days and just be like, oh man, that's awesome. Like take that photo. Like for me, it's like the end of the week, I try and take a photo of what happened at the mill. And then over the weekend, I'm looking, I'm like, man, we really did get a lot done. That's pretty cool. And like, take it in or walk around for a minute. So it's like, enjoy the process. So if your process is building you want to build a chopper shop, or you want to start a bake shop, like enjoy the process of building up and learning. I enjoyed the process of learning metal fab and I'm by no means a professional, but like growing my skills. I enjoyed the process of teaching myself how to TIG weld, taking metal shaping classes, and dedicating my time to learning that stuff. And I'm really glad that I did, because now that I have a business, I don't have time to do that stuff as much as I'd like to. And, in the early time, enjoy the process of growing whatever it is that you're doing. It should be fun.
Yeah.
So that's
nothing but fun.
Yeah. And a tough one that we see, read, listen, respond to all, I have it in quotations, all the comments. Take everything with a grain of salt. It's just the internet. So it is a hard pill to swallow that people are mean on the internet.
Yeah.
It's a thing. You're never going to get around it. I don't care how much we have movements of be kind and all that. There's always an asshole that's miserable in his basement, and he's going to tell you that you suck or you're whatever. And we've actually, over the years, we've kind of joked about, like, we know we're doing good when more people are telling us how terrible we are. And it's not terrible like we're actually doing horrible things. It's like when people start saying, oh, it must be nice, or saying all these different things that are not necessarily true. It's like, we're doing something right, because if these people are that annoyed by how we're
take
growing
time out of their
things,
day to type something out.
And it's like, but it's also in the same breath, be willing to read the comments and get the temperature of what's going on. That's back to like the videos. From the very beginning, I always responded in the early days, every comment. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Even if it was a negative comment, you're just like, okay, yeah, that's not how I see it, or whatever. And take the temperature. So if people are really liking a portion of your video, or how you did something, or that particular project, read the comments, lean into it. But we do it a lot where we read the comments and we kind of like, oh man, people really liked whatever, or they want to see more of X. Well, then we try and show more of that. And that's why we often end a video or in the middle of videos, we'll ask people like, "What do you guys think?" or what,
Yep.
you know, whatever. And sometimes I don't get the response. Like people hate what I'm thinking, and we take it with a grain of salt. But sometimes we do take suggestions and
Yeah.
we do it.
This podcast is basically a culmination of just comments and suggestions.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we read the comments and people tell us, and some of the stuff like you have to trust the process. You have to have a little bit of a gut feeling on it. So like the podcast thing in the beginning wasn't doing as well for us, but like what we were getting is actually in person.
Yeah.
We were getting people coming up to us after doing the podcast for a short little while. They're like, "Man, I really like this. I listened to it at work. I put it on the background in the garage, working, and like keep it up. Or people came to us, like friends and acquaintances and customers came to us, and one specific podcast like hit home with them. And the one I talk about a lot is like, and we did one last week that was kind of similar, but it was like, how do you stay productive, or cleaning up in the shop, or doing stuff like that. It's like, it's all problems that like we have.
Yeah.
And again, being authentically you, we're just talking about stuff that we have problems with or we do that helps us. And then there's other people that feel the same way. It gets them motivated. We had a person who hosted a podcast about starting their own little car gathering in their area to start a scene. And they were telling us they did that. It's like, so all that stuff, people relate to that. So if you read the comments or in person,
Yeah.
take the good and the bad. And we, the early on in the channel being so abrasive with swearing and being, as aggressive about that, I toned it back. And it was like, we still do it occasionally, but we're authentically us.
We were real aggressive. We toned it way back, and we like cut every swearing out, and then we brought the needle back a little bit. So we do swear, but it's not as. First couple of videos were a little abrasive, and then we toned it like way back, and there was none of it, and now it's just more authentic of who we are.
It's in the middle now, because that's where you might notice a podcast or a video where I swear a lot more. Maybe that's a week when we're just having a not as great week, and or the topic sets you off a little bit, and you swear more, and that's just who we are. We're not going to totally stop it and make it G-rated, because that's not what this culture is. So we're not going to try and create some Sunday morning kids show, and it's the world we live in. People swear. Get over it.
One thing I want to say about the comments is I forget where I heard this, but it's you read all the comments, but you don't listen to all the comments.
Yes.
So like with us, we're very fortunate. You can call us ugly all day long. It doesn't hurt our feelings. You got to try really hard to offend Matt and I.
Yep.
There's other people that get offended by that kind of stuff very easily. Read the comment. If it's mean or offensive, just ignore it. It doesn't affect you in any way.
Yeah.
Continue on with what you're doing. There's always someone out there that's going to be miserable and hates what you do. You don't have to listen to it.
And you have to be fair, like when I started at Eastwood, I mean, I had 10 plus years of people telling me I was doing it wrong or I was an idiot on Eastwood's videos. But the first like year or two at Eastwood, I was like, myself as a person, I probably wasn't as, I was a little more insecure. So like when people would say stuff, it was like, I would take it to heart way more because I was insecure about that thing. I thought my weld sucked. Now I'm just like, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I can weld okay. I don't care if somebody tells me my weld sucks. I know that it's decent enough for what I want to do. I know that the car that I'm building is to the quality that I want to build it. That was what the Merc was. That's what, all this stuff is. So you have to be okay with yourself and what you're doing to know that people are going to tell you suck.
And
so
to be honest,
hard.
They're going to tell the best car builders in the world that they suck.
Yeah.
So no matter who you are, there's always someone out there that's going to tell you suck.
The prettiest model in the planet is getting told they're ugly in their social media comments. And it is tough. It has to be.
There's mean fucking people out there everywhere.
It has to be incredibly difficult if your business or brand is built around your looks.
Face.
Your looks or you as a person, because that's hard. And we've had people that, attack what we do in comments and social media, and even in person, we've had people that are, talking negatively about us. But we just try and authentically us, and just do the right thing. And the way we do business, we try and conduct business in a manner where we're trying to make as many people happy as possible. But you're always going to have people that are going to speak negatively about you. So read the comments, take the temperature, respond to comments. You should always try and respond to comments. I still, every video, try and at least go in and respond to some of the comments. I mean, I don't do all of them, but at least respond to some of them. Let people know that we are watching, listening. We're real people. It's not Madonna doing a YouTube channel and she has a team of people doing all this stuff. It's actually us responding.
Yeah.
When I tell you fuck you, it's me saying fuck you.
Oh yeah. Also, if someone's leaving negative comments, by all means, tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
We do it. I give Matt.
Oh my god.
We made a rule early on, and I gave Matt, I'm like, you're allowed 2 comments a video. If someone's being like an idiot, you can go in there and tell them to go fuck themselves.
I only do really.
But you get 2.
I only do 1, and actually anymore, I only do it once in a while.
Yeah.
But like when people, will go in and just be an asshole, and that's where we lean into it because people are so funny with how angry they get or how mean they try and be. Like, you can't hurt our feelings. So we lean into it sometimes, and you will see on our Instagram stories, I will post the mean comment with my response to them because I don't give a shit. Like,
and also, if you go to the comments on YouTube, if we heart a comment, it goes up. A lot of people do this on their Instagram and YouTube. They'll only heart the positive comments. So when you go to the comment section, they're at the top. We do the opposite. We heart all the negative ones, so they're at the top. So you can also tell those
not
people
all the negative ones, but we'll heart one if the person's a
Yeah.
real asshole,
Yeah.
and then we responded back. Like, we'll just heart it because people just think it's funny, and,
Yes.
and I think it's funny.
And then those people can also go tell that person they're an idiot.
Yeah, so it's don't get upset. Don't spend your whole day going back. And that's another thing. Like, I'll respond back to a troll or an asshole comment once.
Yeah.
I don't go back and check those comments and go back and forth. Like, if you let it consume your life,
There's some people some influencers that we know in the automotive field that
they just go back and forth.
constant back and forth, multiple Instagram stories of their rebuttals back and forth. It's like
I just post a funny response.
Yeah.
Like, we get these ones that just people say stupid stuff, and it's just like, you just lean into it. And,
if you have that much time to argue with people on the internet during the workday, you're not working hard enough.
Yeah, you should be focusing that, that energy into building what you're trying to do. So that was always my thing. I'm like, I'm going to stay busy enough working on cars and building a business that I'm not going to have and now that's what I found early on when I started at Eastwood. I was more critical of reading those comments and responding to people and all this stuff. Now I'm like, I don't even have time or the energy. I'm so busy. Like and that's what's great. As you become more successful, you're going to get more of those comments, but you're going to have less time and less interest in reading and taking that stuff to to heart. So we try, you have to read and understand what the people that are if you have a business or whatever, what that is and what they like to see, and so you could take that into business. We take it now that we have a full-grown business. We also take that comments in person or whatever, or eBay, people commenting about like how things are shipped or what type of product we're getting and different stuff like that. We sit down and we actually have these discussions, even if it's in passing about whatever. We've had stuff where we've had things get damaged shipping, and then we have this sometimes difficult conversation of what happened or why is this happening, or maybe we need to do XYZ. Luckily in our business, we're not very PC, so I'm sometimes very aggressive about how I see stuff, but I also know Mike's not easily offended, so he knows that I'm just saying it because I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
And we fix it, and then it's good, and that's the stuff you have to understand. And it's like, well, why does this thing keep happening, or why is this XYZ? And we have a conversation, you work it out. So with your business, it's like if you're having it, something's not working how you planned, you can't have that ego of like, okay, this is the right way to do it. Maybe there's a different way, a better way, and we're always evolving, with that stuff. So we, especially with packing and shipping and trying to take care of customers, that's been a hard thing for us as we've grown, is like customer service is so big with building a business nowadays that like, even from day one, I was like overboard with the customer service side of our business. And sometimes I'm sure it was annoying with Mike, but it's like, it's stuff where it's like, we got to get back to this customer. It's like, I know that it may not go somewhere, but we got to at least get back to them with an email or an answer or something to know that we're there so that they will ask us again. And that's some of the stuff that I think people, they aren't good at, or you let drift off. And, that's where having another person in your business that's co-signed is going to, be on board about that.
And it's helped now that we have Luke. I can focus more on that instead of being like, I got 37 packages that have to go out today. I will email them when I'm done.
Yeah, and that's one of our topics here that we kind of lead into with the don't fake the funk. Not a lot of people, we've also seen with people growing brands, social media, YouTube, people that are faking the funk of how successful they are.
Yeah.
And they are pretending on the internet. People can tell. As much as you don't think they can, people can tell. Pretending that they are more successful than they are. Making social media posts that you're hiring, but you're not really hiring. Or bitching about XYZ and you're hiring, and it's like, you can tell. The person's they're getting 1,500 views on their videos. You don't need a video. You can't afford to hire a videographer unless you're maybe independently wealthy. But it's like, just because you got a couple of videos that got 20,000 views or one viral video, and suddenly now you need a videographer. I need this employee. My eBay business is so busy. I need 3 guys. We went the opposite. We were so far into being overwhelmed until we hired somebody. Even when we hired Luke, I was like, I don't know, like, we could probably still keep doing it ourselves. Yeah. And now that we hired Luke, it's like, it totally makes sense. But like, you're not impressing anyone by pretending that you have more employees or bringing staff on. I don't know why people, some of the most successful entrepreneurs were grinding and doing all the stuff themselves until it was so overwhelming that they had to hire one. And that's basically what happened with us. It was like, we were so overwhelmed that I kind of had to hire Steve. It was like, in order to get videos and grow a parts business, I needed somebody to help do the work in the shop. And that's what's happening we hired Luke. It's like, it was so glaringly obvious that, I'm shouting at Mike about not getting back to people. And it's like,
I had no one to shout at. I couldn't yell at anyone.
So I need Mike's biggest complaint to me in his yearly review was, I need someone to yell at.
You yell at me, I need someone to yell at.
Yeah, I need somebody to yell at.
My wife is tired of me yelling at her when I get home from work.
Yeah. Nate's getting yelled at because
you're not packaging it fast enough.
Yeah,
do it better.
Yeah, what the hell? So it's like, we see that too often. Like, you don't have to, you can quietly grow a business, but you don't need to jump in. And it's like, people were either trying to buy things to show how successful they are when they build a brand or a business, or they're trying to hire employees or pretend they're hiring people, or position themselves to make their shop seem super busy with work, to make people like, just focus on showing what you're doing in the process. It's okay that your business is taking some time to grow. It's okay to have setbacks.
It's okay to drive a shitty F-250 with rotted bedsides.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
My truck has a bajillion miles. I don't need the brand new Ford truck that's a house bed. And all of that stuff we do and have done is all the chess game. I knew that, what do I want to do? And when we started wanting to build this parts business, it's like, we were making decent money. We're making money for individual people.
Yes.
The business, I wasn't putting any money back in to grow the infrastructure of the business. I had plenty of money for myself to pay the bills and do whatever we wanted, type thing within reason. But it's like, I could have easily we could have both just went and bought brand new trucks and been, flossing in our F550 King Ranch Edition dualies.
Brand new trailer, brand new aluminum trailer.
And we see that too often where people are like, it's like, we use what we have until we can't use it anymore.
And people get ahead of the game. They're like, I've towed one car. I need a brand new F-250, a brand new aluminum deck trailer. It's like, you can do with a lot less than what you need. And the only reason I bought a newer truck, and I didn't even buy a brand new truck, I bought a used truck, is because Matt's truck was not falling apart, but it was like,
it's getting high miles.
And we're starting to do more states all over the place.
Yeah.
I needed a truck to help with the business. So it's like, I'll just spend the money and I'll buy a lower miles used truck to keep us going. And now my truck's got like bought it was 60,000. It's got like 155,000.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And that's as the business evolved. It's like I knew that we were going to need more space. Like years ago, it's like we were renting space to run the business out of. It's like we're basically throwing money away renting this warehouse space, and it's not really the best for what we need anyways. So it's like we need to build a building or buy a property. So if I would have had some crazy truck payment, I wouldn't be able to afford to build buildings like we've done or do any of that stuff and that's where I think people see how we've grown, probably misinterpret that we're doing better than we are. It's really just that like we're doing without having the brand new
live
truck
a
and
modest, modest lifestyle.
More modest, yes, for sure. And
I mean, your boots out of the tongue was disconnected for like a month.
For a month I was wearing my $30 Walmart boots were worn out, and I was too.
They were speaking to you every time you walked.
I was too cheap to buy it. But like some of that, I think people are too quick to try and show off to people that they're successful or they get a little bit of traction.
Yeah, they're more worried about the short term than the long term.
Yeah, you have to double down and just put back into it. And we're growing every day. I'm not Warren Buffett here.
Yeah.
It's having these. It's just we just try and share the information that we've learned on our small scale, and hopefully it helps people that are looking, to do that and helps you grow. It's like, but I think sometimes we just say the stuff that people are too polite or too afraid to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are fronting on the internet that they're doing better than they are by, like I said, they're putting up that they're hiring, or look how busy I'm chopping this car, and pretending that they're chopping a car in their shop when they're really somebody else chopped the car and they're just doing the wheel cylinders, or taking photos in a way that you're trying to pretend like you're doing the work, but you're just taking a class with Gene Winfield.
Yeah.
Like, you're not actually working for Winfield. I know everybody took a photo with Gene Winfield. That doesn't mean that you were his best friend and you worked for Gene. You took a class like all of us, So there's a lot of that stuff where people are trying to associate.
Yeah.
And it's the same in any social media where you take the selfie with the movie star and it makes you seem like you're...
I ran into my best friend.
Yeah. My buddy XYZ. And it's like, just be real. I mean, it is, most people can read through the nonsense.
Yes.
And that's where I'm like, I try and go the other direction. I try and just be nonchalant. We didn't talk about, like, I'm really bad. I'm almost to a fault bad about it. When we were buying the mill, I didn't talk about it at all. And you see other people that are talking about what they're going to do. I'm more of a, here's what I did type thing. So, like, I think a lot of people, as you get that little bit of success with social media or your business or brand or whatever, they're like, I'm going to do this thing, or I'm going to XYZ. It's like, just do the thing and then tell people after it's done. And it doesn't, you don't need to hype it up. Actions speak more than words. It's like, we built a new building. The building is there. It's tangible. I don't have to talk up how I'm going to build a building. It's like, we just did it. It's just a necessary evil, and that's what happens. So don't front on the internet. Don't do that. People know. Just be you. If you're poor, you're poor. I'm poor right now. All my money goes to fixing a crappy mill and paying bills.
Yeah, but you're building rich. Look at all these buildings you got.
I don't know. If no one else wants to buy the building but me, like, I bought a property that no one else would wanted to buy. It just,
That's not what you tell the bank. It's liquid assets.
Yeah, everybody wants to buy it.
Yes.
People are not pounding down the door.
Yeah.
But, so one thing, we have a few more topics, and we'll kind of wrap it up. But merch.
Yes.
That's it on the same thing as, fronting or whatever. People get ahead of themselves, I think, and they drop a lot of money in merch. And
they get ahead of themselves in two ways.
Yeah.
A, they think they're going to make money off of merch, which you can. It is possible, but you have to treat it more as a clothing brand than like merch for a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And two, they sometimes do it too early. They're like, they just start a YouTube channel, they have 20 subscribers, and they have a web page selling merch. It's good to be, ahead of the curve, but sometimes it's like you're pushing it down your viewer's face and you have like not that many viewers.
Yeah, you're just getting ahead of yourself. I mean, I think it's good to, and we have some friends that have started businesses and maybe they don't even do the social media brand
Yeah.
thing. They just have businesses or they started a YouTube or different things like that. They printed enough shirts for themselves and their friends and family, and I wear those shirts on our video for
Yeah.
just to support them. But really, I just wear it because I want to like, regardless of us having a YouTube, I've always like my friends' businesses. If they give me a T-shirt, I'm wearing it. It's free, free T-shirt. So that's how we treated our stuff. Once we started getting a little bit of traction, we got we printed T-shirts.
We had a
and-
bunch of people that asked for them too.
Yeah,
They were like, "Do you guys have merch? I want to buy a shirt."
Yeah,
And for a while, it was like, "No, we're not doing that." And then it was
it's
finally
just
like,
we're not really anything that special. And then we made T-shirts, but like we just joked in the beginning. I was giving away more shirts than we were selling.
and we still kind of do that sometimes.
Sometimes we
I'll
do
come
that.
in and Matt's like, "I gave away like 3 shirts to this dude that came and bought some parts. Here's the sizes. Take them off."
And I'm a sucker for the young person.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So like anytime, it's like, here, take a shirt. Yeah,
We'll give your kid a free shirt, but not you.
yeah, you gotta pay.
Yes.
But like, so understand that merch, T-shirts.
Don't go in
stickers,
with a lofty goal.
You're using them for marketing. That's what to this day, we make a tiny, tiny bit of money on merch. But what it is it's marketing. And finally, I'd say this year or last year, I feel like the marketing side of us selling merch is paying off. This year at Hershey, I saw, and Carlisle,
Yeah.
car events in general, I'm seeing a lot of IronTrap T-shirts and hoodies. And it's like, early on, we started seeing that at Carlisle and Hershey. But it was like all people that we knew or kind of
Yes.
knew. So it was like, oh, I know that guy. Like, I've known him forever, or, whatever. He bought a T-shirt or a hoodie. And I felt like they were doing it to support us, not really because they thought it was a cool shirt or they liked the brand. Now, like at Hershey, I'm like walking around. I'm like, I remember this year, I was like surprised. I saw a guy wearing one of our Parts Robot shirts. No clue who he was. He was just a vendor. And I saw it from far away. And I'm like, man, even now, I'm like, I wonder if I know that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel like somebody wouldn't buy our stuff because it's just cool or it's, cool piece of merch. So now that marketing aspect's paying off because we're seeing people that are wearing it all over the world. We get emails from guys who are like, hey, I'm in France and I'm at a hot rod show.
That just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Where was he at? It was
Somewhere in Europe, and he was like, "I'm over here just at a car event," and this dude's randomly at a bar.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
like in town for a car show, and then they weren't even at the show; they were at a bar. It's
guy's
like, this
wearing
dude's wearing an IronTrap shirt.
yeah, those guys? Oh, yeah. And it's like, that's cool because now the marketing side of it's paying off where we're making, and that's another thing to keep in mind, make merch that people actually want to wear.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people miss the mark on that. Like, I probably skew too much to the like cool side and not always what's like the mass public wants to wear sometimes. But like people will put these T-shirts together and it's got the YouTube logo and the hashtag XYZ and the all this like gobs of stuff that's not like,
It's not a business. It's a business card in a sense.
it doesn't want to. I don't want it to look like it's some like homemade birthday.
Yeah.
Like Nate's 6th birthday T-shirt with hashtag Nate's 6 years
Yeah.
old. Like, it's like, just make a cool shirt people want to wear, simple, and that's
that's how a clothing brand is made.
yeah.
You make designs that people want to wear, and then the name just becomes
Yes.
synonymous with that design.
Yes, and that's where I think some of those stuff, like sometimes there's brands that I actually want to support.
Yeah.
And I look at their T-shirt, I'm just like, man, I'd rather just give you $20 because I would just be wasteful. I wouldn't wear that shirt because it's just not. I like what they're doing, but their shirt's just not that great. And it's like, so I don't know. I think about that. Like, what makes something that you'd actually want to wear? Like, our T-shirts are something that if I had no affiliation with IronTrap, they're like kind of cool shirts, I think. So I would want to wear them. And sometimes I skew to the side. We've done some shirts that haven't been that successful, but I like the design and we just printed them because we thought they were cool and we wear them and it's fine. But that's back to where we're not expecting them to pay our mortgage with our merch. We make a little bit of money, but again, it's, unless you're Hoonigan or some crazy, like, you're not going to make enough money on merch to really move the needle. Especially
And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, keeping an inventory of merch is a lot of work, a lot of money as well to put out to just have a shelf full of t-shirts to keep in stock. It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what's the channel? I apologize because everybody watches this channel, but I don't watch them because I don't do the internet much.
Which one?
That they have a whole warehouse.
Oh, Cletus McFarland. Yeah.
The name escaped me. I know who it is.
Yeah.
Don't everybody give me hell. I don't watch.
I sent him the video. They moved warehouses and they have like a legit warehouse with like a conveyor system with people. They have people that just pick orders and they have people that just ship orders. Like that's more of a merch company than a YouTube channel that sells merch.
But they built their brand up to the point
where he
where
used to do his own t-shirts.
Yeah. So
like out of just a small office, it was him and a friend, just like this.
Yep.
That they did t-shirts and they've grown the t-shirt business so big that they do other YouTube channels. They like turn it into a merch company.
But I'm sure at some point there was a conversation where it was like, hey, there's a business opportunity for us to be distributors of merch for smaller channels. And it's like, that's genius. They identified a type of brand or a type of business that was like a sub business and they built it off of their original. So that's kind of what we've been doing. It's like, okay, well, what can we do that's off of ours that's just natural? So for them, it's like it probably was a natural thing, and it's genius that you are able to do that and lean into it. People knew who you were, they trust you, all that type of stuff, and now you have some sort of new building that they're doing, just warehousing type stuff, which is crazy.
And I love that channel because they showed they do giveaways, which their merch business goes like crazy. They showed like they had all kinds of problems, and they were super transparent and like, this is all the stuff that we fucked up at the warehouse and that didn't work. We're making changes, and they were very super honest about it. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, the one you sent me was like that. They're like, we got this new like system and things aren't moving right, and here's why. And it's like that telling that story helps people understand and people relate to the growing pains of your business. And that's what I think a lot of businesses should be showing on social media rather than just always showing your victories. Show some of the the learning process, the failures, the whatever, and we lean into that. We show 99% of our failures. I didn't show actually yesterday, to be completely honest. I deleted the clip, and I shouldn't have. I got to be honest with you. I was machining something for Steve yesterday on the mill, and I was being too aggressive with my cut and my feed speed.
Did it chuck it out of the vise?
I broke a expensive ass end mill
Nice.
in half. It caught in the spring plate, and I was so embarrassed because I was being a dumbass. It was chattering, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to keep... And it caught, and I just turned my head, and it broke, and luckily it wasn't violent. It just, like, broke, and the whole head, the head of it just, like, fell. And it was a big end mill, and I'm like, oh, are you kidding? And I like, instinctively deleted it. I don't know why, because I never do that, but I couldn't sleep at night. I had to tell everybody. I
didn't even know that. That's an exclusive right here, folks. That was an
exclusive. But generally, we show our mess ups, and I've actually gotten to the point where I am so guilty conscience that I have to even tell everybody because it's happened. I mean, there's been stuff that I like go in and I'm like, hey guys, I did this or whatever. You see this, I messed this up, and I think being okay with messing up and showing the process is good for building a brand, building a business. People will connect with you more because they like sympathize with what you're going through because there's probably someone that watches your channel that's already done what you've done and they can sympathize with the mistakes.
The mistakes are learning moments for everyone.
Yeah.
We may show stuff that no one ever is going to, come across, but we may be teaching someone, 5 years from now, they may have to go do something like, hey, didn't IronTrap do something like this like 5 years ago and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then it's all just a learning process we all learn from.
Right. Yep. So the last two. So number one, spamming. There's a fine line between spamming and promoting your business on social media. I do realize that there's a lot of noise on social media when you're building a brand or a business that you need to put, like we're talking about putting a lot of content out. But there is a fine line between spamming
and promotion.
Public places. So the way I would put it is think before the internet, if you went out to a public place, the grocery store, and someone's handing you their flyers for their roofing business, and just every time you go to the grocery store, that same freaking guy's handing you flyers, and you said no thank you every time. It gets annoying.
Yeah.
That's what happens on the internet. Like if you go into every hot rod group on Facebook and you post your new video every time a new video comes out, it gets to be like maybe be a little more like pick the ones that are more better. We all know that we have videos or content that's better than other ones.
Yes.
So share the content that's maybe your best content. Because it's gotten pretty bad where like on Facebook groups where it's like all these YouTubers and content creators are shoving their content down your throat to the point where like every third post is like, check out my new YouTube video where I walk around Carlisle, and then the guy underneath it's like, check out my new YouTube video where I walked around Carlisle, and it's like those guys are crossing paths in the same video. It's like it's the same fucking content.
Those videos have gotten really bad.
That's where people are copying each other's content to the point that it's like we've actually scaled down our swap meet videos where you don't even do as many specific videos on swap meets or events because everyone's doing it. We're not really doing it any better than anyone else, so we've just stepped back.
That's hard to compete too.
It is, but like I just think posting every video on your group on public spaces. I'm not saying on your own personal social. Like definitely post often there, but like if you're going in and just spamming every place with your, too often, it's like.
And also read the room. If you're putting a post in a group and then no one likes it or comments on it, and you go in that group and like people posting. Say, I'm just looking at the Schroll car 32 group and you're posting videos constantly of 32 stuff that you're doing and it's getting no traction, but people just posting more authentic.
Yes.
Like this is what I'm working on in the garage are gaining traction. Maybe pivot to what you're doing and less promoting your direct video to just posting photo progress of what you're working on with a caption that might gain some more traction than you spamming a video into Facebook. And also Facebook, some social media will, when you spam outside links, it doesn't work. They give that less traction than just a normal post.
Yeah, there is a lot of that where their algorithm has figured out that people do that and they actually like bury that post. Yeah. They'll let it go up, but they'll bury it so not.
If you've ever noticed, we put a photo and then say video and comments. That's why.
Yeah, but we don't. I mean.
That's on our personal. Even our personal thing, if you post just a video link, it doesn't work
as well.
Yeah.
But we don't post. Occasionally, Mike will go into groups and post one of our videos, but it's probably one of our more interesting ones, like a picking video.
And I might do the Jeepster one.
Yeah.
I'm speaking in the future. That video comes out Sunday. It's Friday. On Sunday, I might post that in a couple Jeep groups just to get some outside. That's what I'll mostly do is when it's out of our norm, post it in other groups that you don't normally get views from.
And the mindset that we've always had with growing the channel and growing the brand was that we're going to put out cool enough content or good enough content, we hope, that everyone else will do the work for us. Like that's when I knew we were doing something right, when we started seeing the Packard video took off. Well, the reason it took off is because everyone was sharing that content for us. We never posted it anywhere publicly other than our own social. It was everyone else that was promoting it that got all the traction. So it's like sometimes let the content speak for itself and it's going to get out there and take off. Like our best videos, view-wise, were not ones that we promoted like on a Facebook group or anything. It was just stuff that struck a chord and people started sharing it. And that's like when we did the state with all the 34s in Michigan, it was just everybody was posting it on all these different groups, the Ford Barn, all the Facebook groups. They were posting on our behalf because everyone else is on social media 24 hours a day. Everybody's glad to share cool content if they like it, so they're doing it for you. So if you put out content that's informative or is good, people are going to post it for you. And there's nothing wrong with occasionally posting it, but it's abrasive for me as a general public.
Yeah, every time you open Facebook, it's the same person, not the same channels blasting. You scroll down your feed on Facebook and it's like this group, that group, this group, that group of the same thing posted multiple times. It's a little much.
I think there's like you said, there's a tactful way to do it. I think in being involved in the group, in a genuine manner, where you're like, hey, like I post sometimes as just a normal person, like just to post a cool photo of one of the cars as me, not as IronTrap. I'll just post it and not even mention IronTrap. I'll just say, hey, cool shot of the 32 sedan that's just about ready for the road.
Yep.
And everybody already knows, for us at least, what it is. But you don't need to push the crap out of it because people will figure it out. I mean, sure, you could put in the comments like, hey, or somebody asks, they like your car, like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing the full build on my YouTube channel. Yep. Very non-abrasive.
My favorite thing that I miss is when you used to do the troll posts on the flathead groups of the flathead stuff, and people would be
that
like,
"That wasn't to promote the channel. That was just because the flat spot owner is a piece
but
of shit."
It would also be funny because people would be like, "Oh, I can't believe it," blah blah blah, and then someone just come and be like, "That's Matt from IronTrap," and then everyone would be like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah. But I was just trolling because I didn't like that.
But it's still a fun aspect. You're just posting as a normal person.
And it is fun. It is funny to do that. And it wasn't like I was trying to like scam anybody. It was just tongue in cheek type thing. And
you still do that on Instagram too. Like post funny like a picture with like a funny comment or like heading to it, and people would be like, "Oh, you had me there for a minute." Then I realized it was you.
Yeah. So it's. I think there is a tactful way. Just think about that. If you're posting like super often to all these groups and forums, not forums, but groups on Facebook and different stuff, I think there's a way to do it tactfully. And again, on your own personal page, posting often, there's nothing wrong with that. People will unfollow if they get annoyed with it. But like I said, we go the other way. We don't post as often as we probably should, but just because we're busy is mainly the reason.
And there's so much to keep up with. I mean, YouTube is obviously our main focus. So it's like you have YouTube for content, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's like all these different things, and you have to try and almost do different posts on all those different things to make it feel less spam. It's just so much.
And I think we identified our focus for what our goals are. TikTok, while it is a great outlet for getting noticed and building a social media presence, the percentage of people that are going to watch our YouTube video and buy a 32 Ford grill is almost zero. So yes, we can build our brand as a brand overall, but in the end of the day, what pays the bill is selling old car parts. So we don't give as much focus to that, whereas Instagram or YouTube, we're seeing that happen. So we should be doing more on TikTok, but we don't give it the focus because it's not, see some people that they just watch all these social media podcasts and different stuff. Like, you got to be on TikTok. If you're not doing TikTok, you're an idiot. And it's like, well,
our demographic isn't on TikTok.
They are, but they're not. Like, if the goal of our business is to sell early Ford and pre-war kind of car parts, so it's like that market is also on YouTube. They're, so it's like we're not putting as much focus into it. I think we should be posting more often than there to just grow our brand as a overall brand. And I think as we grow what we're doing, opening a physical location that's more of an antique store, well, then doing TikToks is going to help get people to come into the door. I mean, you see that happening on TikTok quite often. A coffee shop gets noticed because they do a funny TikTok, dance or whatever. So
I'm going to start throwing. You ever see those TikToks where they're throwing the beer in their manager's face? I throw weight motor oil at you, and you have to guess what it is.
Great.
That's 10W30.
Great. I'm going to need a stand-in. I need a stunt double for that.
No, I'll throw it at Steve.
Yeah, there you go.
Steve's the mechanic. I'll throw it at Steve. What automotive fluid is this?
Well, he does spill. I mean, the other day I walked down, he had taken a bath of gasoline somehow.
That happens all the time.
So he's probably pretty good with it. And then the last thing to cover is if you do start to see some success, or you move the needle a little bit, or you're just growing your business or brand a little bit more, don't get lazy. That's, again, the thing that we've seen with people fronting that they're doing better than they are. They also start to get lazy. Like, you can, any day of the week, it could all go away. If you stop posting content, if you stop pushing to grow what you're doing, it's just you're gonna see things decrease.
Yeah.
So that's why we're always pushing to do all these new things, and grow things, because we're trying to get stuff. But we didn't start seeing all kinds of success in the parts business and just stop doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It's like we're still doing all of that stuff because all of those pieces are what helps grow the brand and the business. So it's I joke sometimes with people that YouTube is a necessary evil. I love it. I love what we do, but like there's days of the week where I would just rather work on a car or not document what I'm doing and just do it. And it would be more fun sometimes.
Sometimes doing stuff on camera is not as fun and glamorous as people think.
And I still make a point to do certain things in my life that I do not film. I put my phone away. A lot of driving the cars, don't film at all. I just drive my cars, and there's a lot of times when I'm like driving, like, man, I should have brought the meta glasses, or I should have.
Well, that's one of the reasons you did get the meta glasses.
So it wasn't as intrusive. I didn't feel like I had to get my phone out and do the thing.
And it's less of a thought because you're already wearing them. You just hit a button and
just do it. Yeah, but like even so, there's still times when I'm just like, I'm going to go take the car for a drive, and I'm not going to document any of it. I'm just going to do it. Kate and I will get in the car and spend the day just driving to the flea market and going to get coffee and using the car for a day.
You don't walk around the flea market with your phone in front of you, filming everything you pick up at the flea market for TikTok?
Don't need to do that.
Yes.
Luckily for us, we don't need to do that. But make sure you're taking time to just enjoy the process, like I talked about. Enjoy what you're doing, but also don't get lazy. You got to put in the time, you got to put in the work, and until most of us, I mean, even our business that it's grown, I can't just stop doing things.
No.
Like I'm lucky enough that yourself and Luke are handling most of the parts business now, so I don't have to be involved, but I can't just stop answering phone calls for leads. I can't stop doing content that helps promote
or just managing us.
Yes.
And as a whole.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. We're unruly and we'll not do things we're supposed to.
But you still need to keep pushing and doing whatever the thing is. But unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, but like taking our own advice, like I didn't just hire an office person. I didn't just hire 10 people. And yes, it would help our business grow, but I also want to make sure that we can pay everybody every week and we continue to grow. And at some point it'll be glaringly obvious where you need the help. But like for right now, I still got to write the checks to pay the bills. I still got to call the electric company to, do
the other thing too, I think people make mistakes is they're very fast to just hire a person in small business and not the right person.
Yes.
And we did that. I mean, with Luke, we were in the need of having someone for a while, and we had Ryan that helped us over the summer. And it was like we were looking but not looking at the same time. And Luke actually approached us and was like, would you guys be open to hiring, someone to,
That's like the dream,
Yeah.
man. I mean, if you could, that's like the whole.
And we had a lot of people approach us. I will say that.
Well, that's part of the everything we're saying. If you do cool enough stuff, people will watch your content, and all the way down to employees. People will want to work for you because they're invested in what you're doing.
We should maybe ask Luke if he still wants to work for us at the end of the day.
He usually is sticking around after work,
That's
just
true.
hanging out.
We did all sit up here till 5:30 last night.
Just
Bullshit. Yeah.
So
it wasn't just get a paycheck and leave.
But I think if you start building something that's cool enough, people will want to come work for you. So
or have work done. I mean, that's our number one thing. Will you work on my car?
Yes, and we could have a turnkey hot rod shop tomorrow if we wanted to start saying yes to people. But like, if you're building, whatever your business is, if you're mechanic shop or you're a fab, it's just you doing fabrication in your shop and you're putting out cool enough work, there's probably a guy that follows you that works at a different shop that'll hit you up and be like, hey man, if you ever want to take on another guy, I love the type of choppers you're building, I love the work you're doing, I work at this restoration shop but I really want to build hot rods, let me know. And it's like we've had so many good connections of people that have offered to work for us or even just help out occasionally, different stuff that's literally just that. Like I rarely ever put a post up like we're looking to hire XYZ. I'd rather wait for the right guy that matches the we want the personalities to match. We want all that stuff.
Was it Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come?
Yeah, that's right. Field of shit. That's what we have. It's just a shit show every day.
Just the IronTrap shit show.
If you shit it out.
Speaking of shit shows, we have to go adjust the clock before we go to Oklahoma.
Great. So yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So now we get to learn about how to adjust a giant clock
On a
up
sketchy ladder up in the tower. This is
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
There's no
So,
instructions.
tune in to Week of Life of on Tuesday to see if one of us dies and falls from the clock tower.
Or gets attacked by random birds that are living in the
pigeons.
clock tower.
Next video, Matt's eyes are just like all swollen. I got pecked in the eyes by pigeons.
The attack pigeons.
Yeah.
The end boss pigeon was
Yeah.
up in the clock tower.
Just a huge buff pigeon. We'll have to bring
Anyways,
Moondog along.
on that ridiculous note, that is
Yes.
a little bit of a talk. Hopefully this helped any of you that were thinking about it. It gives a little insight into what we did. Like we always say, we kind of blend our podcast into business, hot rodding, whatever we want to talk about that's relevant. So I think a lot of people out there that I know personally, and also that we follow our channel, are people that are looking to do some sort of thing of their own, and we hope that what we have done can be an inspiration for somebody to try and do their own thing, whether it's successful or you have to try 3 times to find what it is. Enjoy the process.
Yep.
And just do something you like to do. That's the goal. So thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Catch you next time. See ya.